Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another episode of Grim Dawn, where I don't have a new scepter, because I'm cursed apparently. So, Cronley's hideout, I keep calling it Cronley's mine, I don't know why. But Cronley's hideout here is a fairly interesting little incident, because this is really where they teach you the hard way that you really should be prepared for literally anything. Because you're going to start out Cronley's hideout with the usual kinds of enemies that you've been fighting, lots of fire damage, pierce damage, things that you've been probably making sure you have resistances for. Clearly been playing too much Smite. Anyways, you've probably been really focusing on resistances for pierce and fire, which makes sense. But then, about halfway through this area, you come across Cronley's Ascended, who do Aether damage. And if you've unequipped your Aether resistance items, which most people will at this point have done so, including me sometimes, even though I know better. I actually did it with this character. I have 16% through dumb luck. Then you're going to find you're going to have a really rough time here, at least in the second half. Actually, the first couple of characters I took through this area did so horrifically badly in Cronley's Mine, the second half of Cronley's Mine, that I actually just restarted twice in a row with completely fresh people because I couldn't figure out why suddenly I was dying so much faster. Yeah, I didn't have the Aether resistance. Oh, a hero. Alright. That's a story. Is that another hero there? Yeah, it is. Okay, we're gonna have a problem here. This is just not good. I don't like this. We don't like this. No, please. No. We're gonna back up here. There we go. We good? Yes, we are good. That's just fantastic. Goodbye. Alright. Actually, we need to grab one of these. There we go. Another Spectral Bludgeon. About as useful as the last one. Not a bad thing, but not a great thing either. Grab this while we're down here for the quest. Grab this. Poison these dudes. There we go. Use our devotion point. Go into the rat here because we're still doing poison acid damage for now. That's fine. Alright. So this is about where we're going to start seeing... Actually, I think it would be better to describe it as a third. Pretty soon we're going to start seeing Cronley's Ascended, who do the Aether damage. And just absolutely slap. Because, again, Aether resistance isn't that common at this early stage of the game. Actually, I just find it to be a little rare in general. I don't know if that's just me being cursed for my entire Grim Dawn career, or just how it is. I've not gotten any kind of concrete answers on that, ever. Another hero? Oh, wow. Alright. You can see him taking some pretty good damage here, because obviously not much in the way of Aether resistance here. But that's fine. Whoop. Oh, nope. There we go. It was a bit touch and go there, but we got it. He should poison to death. Yeah. Alright. Just gonna work our way over here. Get rid of these guys. Boom. Right, I'm actually going to come down here so you can see these secrets. Just so you know them. There's beasts down there, but we really don't care. There's nothing down there that's worth mentioning. I used plural secrets, but there's only really just this one. I don't know why I pluralized that. Oh! Hello, that's huge. Yeah, we're putting that on. That's absolutely incredible. My luck with this character has been absolutely uncanny. I'm here for it, though. I absolutely love this. I'll want to put something or other on that when I get back to Devil's Crossing, but it's not really important to do so now. Boom. Now, the nice thing about the Devil's Charm is that it increases literally all occultist skills. So it doesn't matter what build you're working towards, it's going to remain effective. Behold. Also, just straight up increases elemental resistance and cooldowns. It might seem a little weak, but honestly, there's just the sheer versatility of that item, the fact that it will work with literally any build you're running, gives you good elemental resistance as well, which is really nice to see. And the fact that you can just leave that on there long term, you can attach whatever you want to it, just is absolutely fantastic. I love pieces of equipment like that, especially jewelry. Oh, that's so good. That's something I can equip in the really long term. The nice thing about jewelry like that, amulets, medals, or badges, or whatever you want to call them, rings, they don't have any armor, so it doesn't really make a huge difference how old your jewelry is. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how low the level could be. You just equip the most effective piece of jewelry you've got according to what you need. Again, armor doesn't make a difference, so you don't need to worry about, oh, I'm going to lose armor, or I'm going to lose, whatever. Nah. You don't lose anything from having an old piece of jewelry. Maybe, and this is the only real significant stats that I would worry about, maybe you find a piece of jewelry with better resistances, because that actually starts to make a difference from elite difficulty onwards. But I'm in veteran, so I really don't care at this point. That's probably going to be the amulet I just have equipped for the duration of veteran difficulty, and probably for the early stages of elite until I can find something better at the elite difficulty. To be totally and completely honest, I really don't see me changing that anytime soon, just because of how versatile it really is. And I've been talking about how I'm looking to change back to a Chaos Vitality damage build because of the items that I've been able to pick up once I can get my hands on a new scepter that does Chaos and Vitality damage. That's going to work with this build. It's going to work with that Chaos Vitality idea. It's going to work with all of these. I can't believe I survived that. And it's just going to be, and I can customize it once again, because I'm going to be keeping it on for so long. I can just customize that to whatever resistance I need in the heat of the moment. I would equip this, except I need that Aether resistance. It just straight up, I need that Aether resistance. A lot of these are useless to me. Boom. Oh, hello. There's Moneybags Martin. We're going to want to get rid of this ranged backup here. I'm going to get rid of you. Whoa, hello. Oops. There we go. Why did you drop dynamite of all? You were just a regular dude. Why did you drop dynamite? What? That's a little weird. But okay. Let's not stand in the fire. There we go. Let's, again, not stand in the fire. And there you go. 2 dynamites. Excellent. Hello? Oh my goodness. Pure's resistance isn't as high. The armor is much better. Can we actually... We do not have the stats for that. Alright, we'll just keep that helmet in our inventory until we eventually get the physique for that. That's fine. Get rid of these. Because obviously we don't want to be fighting Cronley with Aether Crystals lying around in the middle of nowhere. Now we're just going to ask where else is, and then we're going to fight him. Now, there's something I'm going to mention here as well. If you want to make this a little easier, if you're having a really hard time, you can craft some Spirit Bane ointments to increase your Aether resistance. I'm actually going to go ahead and grab... I'm going to show you what that looks like, actually. Because I want you to be aware of this as well. Let me actually really quickly sell some of this trash. Wait, hold on. There's one very particular piece of torso armor I don't want to sell. Oh, that's that pair of pants as well. We want to keep that. I don't have Blood of Dreeks. This doesn't matter. I also don't want to use pets. Oh, no, 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 no. We want that. Don't care for that. That's not the helmet that I was looking to save. Don't care about that. Don't care about that. Don't care about that. Not sure that's better than this pair. It's not. Keep this for now. Yeah, don't need that either. Don't need that. No. There's that helmet. The rest of this doesn't matter. Yeah. Alright. Read this and read this for the experience. And then I'm going to talk about resistance boosting items. Now, you're primarily going to use these in the early veteran, pretty much basically the early version of literally any difficulty. You have a variety of things. The ones that increase damage also can help, depending on which one you're using. Some of them are kind of trash because of how short they last, but some of them are actually really good. There's the Spirit Bane Ointment. Using a Wrath Stone. You can just make one of those real quick right there. You can just farm the Aether Crystals you need if you really need to. But this is just going to give us 25% Aether Resistance for 400. Did I actually make that? No. And that's just going to help us out, really. If you're having a hard time with him because of his Aether damage, just bust out one of those. They're not that expensive to make. Again, you can farm for Aether Crystals pretty easily at this point. And you can notice we're actually taking quite a decent bit less damage. We're actually going to use a health potion here. And we're going to come over here and get rid of this. Because we could just actually... Whoops. Alright, I'm taking a little bit more damage there than I was expecting. Come on, there you go. There we go. Still too much damage. Alright. Alright. Physical damage is still kicking me apart. But that's okay. His health potion here. Okay, we're not going to just stand in the Aether. That would really help. As you can see where I'm taking much less damage, I'm actually surviving a decent bit of time here in a mano-a-mano confrontation, which is what we're kind of looking for here. Yep, that's fine. Health potion. Alright. Now you'll notice, I actually want to cover that fight really quick, because you'll notice I actually stood and engaged him in melee combat for brief spans of time. This is because I used the Spiritbound Ointment. I wanted to make sure he died before that ran out. In this early of a difficulty, just veteran, that's not going to be too much of a problem for you. But later on, when things get a lot harder, you're actually going to be in danger of that. So you are going to want to employ, at least to some extent, some hit-and-run tactics in some variation, just to make sure that you are going to be able to get through the fight before your resistance potion runs out. And again, whether or not you need those is really going to depend on your equipment. I didn't have the Aether resistance there, but if I had enough equipment that had high enough Aether resistance, obviously I wouldn't really care. Again, this is usually going to be something you only really are going to need to worry about in the early stages of any given difficulty. Now, you might be wondering, Professor, why would we need to worry about this in the early stages of, say, Elite or Ultimate? Well, as I mentioned in a previous episode, every time you boost the difficulty, you lose 25% of some resistances, more in Ultimate. Your top row of resistances reduces by 25% in Elite and 50% in Ultimate, so that's a 50% drop. As in, if you have no equipment, you are at negative 50%. That is what we're talking about here. And the lower resistances on Ultimate are dropped by 25%. What this essentially means is that every single time you bump up the difficulty, you're suffering a resistance drop. Most of the time, actually, I would say nearly every time, barring certain rare events where you're just lucky enough to have the equipment that has high enough resistances for this, you're probably not going to have the kind of equipment pre-equipped that will cover these sudden gaps in your resistances. So to shore up your defenses, at least for the early stages of a new difficulty, typically you're going to find yourself using those potions. And it's the same thing with the early stage of Veteran. I used a Spirit Bane Ointment here. I will probably use more of those. I'll probably use another one when I go after Krieg in Elite, as an example. Because you make 3 at a time in most cases. There are certain exceptions, but that's generally the rule of thumb there. We just turn in those quests. Moneybags Martin is almost always going to be found on your way to Cronley. I've never had to deviate from the main path to find him, so don't worry too much about finding him. It's really not that big of a deal. Now we're just going to report in to Mornay here, and we're going to just end the episode at that. Yep, there we go. And now I've got this. I'm now respected, which doesn't really make a huge difference at this point in time. Do I really want to? No, not devotion. What am I doing? Yeah, we're going to go ahead and... no. Actually, we're going to go to here, boost this, and then boost that. So, again, yeah, we're respected, but this stuff is level 35, and honestly, it's not really going to make that big of a difference. You're really, at this point, assuming you've also hit respected at this point, are going to be looking for these recipes, because these items here, you're first of all, not likely to be able to equip at this point. I'm slightly underleveled, I think maybe by, I want to say probably about 2 levels. I'm typically closer to 30 than this. Usually, when I'm at this point, I'm usually a little closer to 30. But at the end of the day, well, actually, that was not bad. Higher armor, better Aether resistance. We'll keep it, just in case. I'd rather have it there as an option than not. Much better armor. We're actually going to equip that right now, because that's actually much, much better. Don't need that, because I have better torso armor on the way. That's good. That's trash. This... No, that is not nearly as good. Don't care about that. We're good. Okay. So, ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what those are really used for, is to shore up your defenses there. Yeah. So... Oh, I didn't do my royal jelly. What the heck is wrong with me? Let me go do that really quick, because that's actually fairly important later on. Let me just pull out a random royal jelly over here. Can't believe I forgot this. My goodness. So the important... pardon me. The importance of the Royal Remedy quest is that it gives you the recipe for your first, what I'm going to call passive heal boost. And I'm going to explain... This isn't where I want to be. I'll explain to you what that means in a hot second. I got distracted by my own portal being next to it. Silly me. So you want to come down here, you want to give them the royal jellies. If this is your first run through, you're probably going to need to kill a lot more bees. Go into their hives. But it gives you royal jelly bomb. For the next 450 seconds, you get plus 5 health regenerated per second, and your overall health regeneration increases by 25%. You will get improved versions, but more importantly, you get the recipe for this, which is the really big deal here. This is something else you're going to combine with the resistance increasing tonics to kind of shore up your defenses every time you switch difficulties. But yeah, that's what I really wanted to cover here, in this particular episode. So at this point now, you're pretty much, from the developer's standpoint, you know everything you need to know. You've been exposed to all of the big shocks. You are now on your own. So from here on out, we're going to be tackling this a bit more seriously. We're gonna have to really start thinking more and more thoroughly about our equipment. But we'll tackle that in the next episode. In the meantime, thank you all very much for joining me. If you liked this, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, please ignore me. And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, ideas, suggestions, or requests, please leave them down in the comment section below. And thank you all very much for joining me, and have a great 24 hours.